Factor the following completely and state the method used. This is we have theme throughout these particular questions today is to state the method used. Well, the first thing I notice here, there are two terms. Anytime there are two terms, first off, always look for greatest common factor. Is there something that will go into both of these? There is not. And then I'll look if there are two terms, especially if one is an x squared, that look if what I call square rootable. In other words, I'm going to look for the difference of squares method, because 49 does have a square root, which is 7. 25 does have a square root, which is 5. I'm going to add an x to make this 49x. And because here's what happens. The only way I can get a zero term when I factor is if I'm subtracting the same exact numbers. So I have to have the same exact numbers on the left side of the binomial as on the right, except one will be negative and one will be positive. That's the only way I can get back to 0. All right? So basically what that means is this factors to a 7x plus 5 times the quantity 7x minus 5. Because if I was to FOIL this, there would be no middle term, and it would make the 49x squared and the minus 25, because, like I said, the middle term would cancel out because one is positive and one is negative, because you'd end up with the 7x times 5, which is 35x. One would be positive, one would be negative. Now, I wanted to mention the test question looked more like this, that which one of these following is a difference of squares, and did he factor these correctly? Well, first off, let's look at A. Notice there is a squared, it's a minus. So A is a difference of squares, and it is factored correctly. When I look at B, at first I can see that's not square rootable, but if I take a greatest common factor out of B and take that 3 out, then I have x squared minus 25, which is a difference of squares, which would make this answer right here. Now I can tell C is my answer right away, because difference of squares only works if there's a negative sign. It doesn't work for a positive sign between the two terms. I mean, 25 and 9 are factorable, but it is not a correct answer because of that right there. And if you did look at D, they're just written kind of backwards from what we're used to, but the square root of 144 is 12, and the square root of 49 is a 7x, and the one would be positive and one would be negative, so that D is also a difference of squares.